Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Knapik. Every week, we talk with interesting people in a variety of professions for ideas to enhance your success in all aspects of life. Successful Living with Bill Knapik starts right now. Here's Bill Knapik.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It is Successful Living with Jenna and Bill on location. Jenna, let's tell people where we're at.
We are at the beautiful Katy location of the Federal American Grill. And if you have not made it to this location, you guys probably know Federal has 4 locations in the Houston area now, with more to come, much more to come. But if you haven't made it to this Katy location, you're really missing out. I mean, Bill, as you can see, it is gorgeous. It has everything. And we have the expert here today to talk us through a little bit about himself and where we are and what is available here.
We have the general manager, right?
I mean, we're living right. That's right.
It's a great
LJ,
place.
tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of where we are and how you got to Federal.
Well, I'm definitely an expert on myself. Pretty much still learning about everything else. But yeah, so I was in Peru, of all places, and had a little restaurant down there. And then when COVID hit, we had to shut that restaurant down, moved back to the greatest nation in the world called Texas.
Yes, sir.
Spent about a year opening a restaurant for another local restaurant group, and I went back a ways with some of the Federal leaders, and I've always really kind of appreciated the culture and seen it from afar and wanted to be a part of it. And so reaching out to a couple of those guys, the timing lined up. And so about a year ago, I joined up actually on the culinary team with Federal, and now here I am as a GM.
That's awesome. I mean, I guess I want to go back to that culture piece, because that's something that Federal does so well and is so key, right? That's how you build teams first, and then they build successful locations and happy customers, guests. So, but I want to hear a little bit about you. So where are you from? Like, where'd you grow up and how'd you get into restaurants?
I'm a Houston native. I grew up kind of bouncing around a little bit, but mostly in Houston. I decided that I wanted to go the culinary route after I went to college. I was pre-law. I didn't want to go to law school.
Way better choice.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
I moved. I put everything in a backpack. I moved to New York.
I did that.
I worked for some Michelin star restaurants and that level of culinary. And then I went to China for a year, to Macau, opened a couple restaurants in the Venetian Hotel and Casino. Came back to Houston, worked in a couple of places in Houston, opened my own place, went back to New York. I mean, that's, the Cliff Notes version of it. And then I moved to Peru. I had a food truck for a few years here in Houston, and then I moved to Peru with my wife in 2016. We did a little burger place called Papi Carne. And then, yeah, when COVID hit, everything shut down over there. So we just moved back and kind of got resettled over here.
I mean, that's quite the journey.
It really is. And what's exciting as I'm thinking about all those places, LJ, the culinary palette in each one, and I'm imagining the things that you've learned at each place and each experience, it has to be awesome. And here you are bringing all that knowledge, experience, and flavors right here to the Federal American Grill. Unbelievable.
That's so cool. I mean, so kind of go back to, you've been with Federal now for about a year. So why were you drawn to Federal?
So again, the culture, and that's such an interesting word in this day and age, especially at this part of America's history. Culture is vitally important to the health of a community. And like you said, it could be a community of people as small as a restaurant or a family. It could be an entire company that's nationwide, and it could be an entire nation as such. So culture is very important, and the culture here is driven by values, and really the essence of it is to bring value to the lives of everyone that we meet. make a positive impact on everyone's lives that we meet and interact with. And that seems so rare in today's world. And I felt like that's a really important thing to be a part of.
I think that's so cool. I mean, Bill, you have zillions of guests on this show, but if
We're
you're
getting near the zillion mark.
zillions, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Glad somebody's
We're working on
counting.
it.
It's like
Zillions.
bajillion and
Yeah, exactly.
Jenna's
Bajillion. But you run across so many different kinds of people, interesting people, great stories. But I do think it's rare when you really build a whole entire business and a very a growing business now, which is so cool to see. That's really based on how do you impact other people's lives, right?
Yeah. So when I met Matt Bryce the first time, I did an interview with him a year before I got hired. And I sat in his office, I think it was over an hour. It felt like it was almost a couple hours. Actually, it felt like it was 15 minutes, but I looked at my watch when I left, and I remember thinking, I have never been in an interview for that amount of time. It was really the conversation, and it was about the culture. And I saw Shield on the wall, which is the system of core values that we run the company by, and talked to him about Simon Sinek and being able to take care of people and how to lead, and it just drew me to reinforce that desire to come and work for the company.
We want to remind people we're talking with L.J. Wiley, and Jen and I are on location at the Federal American Grill in Katy, Texas. LJ, let's tell people, as you are here as the general manager in Katy, and boy, you talk about a growing area. I live close by, and every time I drive out 99, it is growing, it's active. Let's tell people all the other locations, and then focus on about what's happening and the kind of business you're seeing right here in this very busy area.
So as far as all the other locations, we have one in Shepherd, which is the original location, Shepherd and Memorial, sort of Heights area, and that has a very deep character, a very old character, a very Houston restaurant. And the second location was in Hedwig Village, which is also a very Houston location, and that's a lot of hustle and bustle and kind of a CMB scene type of place to be. The third location that was open was this one in Katy, and then we went into Woodlands after that. And I think that the last two have a good amount in common because we are in family-oriented residential areas, but we still know how to have a good time. For me, physically, the space, I feel like it's brighter in here. There's a lot more kind of sunshine and smiles and good times, and it is very family-oriented place to be.
Tell us a little bit I was walking around earlier. This place is huge, first of all, but tell us a little bit about like the special features as far as event spaces. Your outdoor space is gorgeous. Your patio, it's patio weather right now, people. We need to take advantage of this before it's 1,000 degrees.
Very
outside.
large patio, by the way.
Very large patio, green space, games. I mean, talk a little bit about your private event spaces.
Yeah, so we have the space that you're talking about that's outside actually connects to an inside private event space. The inside space is 40 to 50 people. It has a wall, of windows that opens completely up, so it connects all the way into the patio space, which is another 40 or 50 people.
Very
and
cool.
Outside of that, there's a green space with some, cornhole boards and room for games, and we're talking about maybe having some live music during the season out there. And definitely looking forward to watching the Astros win another World Series out there.
Yes. And Final Four is coming up. Don't forget. So good place. You've got plenty of TVs, good place to come watch Final Four with your kids, without your kids, doesn't matter. Kids can run around out on the green space while you're sitting there having dinner and a drink.
That's it, yeah.
You can tell what I did when my kids were little. That's how I got there having twins.
Twins.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, and I don't know, but I'm guessing that is this the largest in terms of square footage of the restaurants here in the Houston area?
This is the largest of the four federals which currently are in operation.
And also, as we mentioned, the outdoor, indoor, very versatile.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have, kind of a more intimate party, there's this gorgeous whiskey room. I love like the lighting in there. It's a
Yeah.
very cool space. How many can be seated in
So
there?
we can do up to 25 people in that room, and I think it's the largest one of the whiskey rooms. All of the federals have a whiskey room featuring a bunch of barrel heads of the massive selection of bourbons that we do have at each location. But we do have the largest whiskey room out of the four.
It's beautiful. It's really well done. So you can have that. If you have a bigger party, you can have the private room back here in the corner behind us, and or the private room and the connecting outdoor space, which is so cool. Or just come, rent the whole restaurant out if you have that many friends. I don't know that I do, but
We have a couple of those throughout the year.
there's a couple of those in Katy. That's awesome. Well, what else should we know about, just Katy location, Federal Grill in general? Like, how excited are you to be out here and to meet this community? And
This is just a really fun place. It's a very fun, laid back, and friendly environment as far as the locals and as far as our staff here. There's really a signature culture to the staff that's here. And they're just really some of the friendliest people that I've had the opportunity to work with, and and that's in the front of house and in the back of the house. It's a great kitchen team, very talented chefs who work in the kitchen, and then just a lot of fun with the people who do some of our tableside presentations and bartenders. It's just a great place to be able to come into work and feel like you're at a party every day. It's pretty cool.
that's amazing. I will say, and I think I've said this before, but my favorite time, weirdly, at a Federal Grill is before the opening, because it's like this, it's quiet, but everyone is so happy, and you see everyone laughing, joking, but like with little, rags, dusting the blinds, making sure the booths are perfectly clean, like no detail goes unnoticed, which I love.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's cool. It's a combination of like really high quality, but also really like, why not have fun, right? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons to be here early is it gets crowded.
Does get crowded.
I am a big fan of getting to any of the grills ASAP. If I know I'm going to have lunch, I want to be one of the first people in there. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good problem to have, right?
Absolutely.
It dawns on me now also that if people are listening, certainly on the internet and far beyond Houston, Texas, but as they may be listening at the time of broadcast, where we are sitting right now, there are thousands of cars going by, just like Hedwood Village. There's thousands all the time. There may be somebody listening right now already getting hungry. As they hear the show, they'll pull over, LJ, and they might come in and say hi to you right here on a Sunday between 6 and 7.
That's true.
Yeah, it's perfect dinner time. Make sure you say hi to LJ or whoever's here from his team, and tell him you heard it on the radio show. The other thing, Bill, to your point, if you're listening outside of Houston, Federal Grill also recently opened a gorgeous location in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is amazing. Much more to come on that, but
In fact, in Arizona, I'm hearing so many people, Federal Grill, yes, opening in Scottsdale, Arizona, but I'm also hearing a lot of buzz just about Arizona in general, even from a real estate standpoint. So
I agree.
you guys are always at the right spots and seemingly at the right time.
I agree. It's an exciting company.
For sure.
Well, we've got about 2 minutes in this segment. Jenna, what else should we know, LJ?
Well, as far as growth, we do have another location coming into Houston in downtown.
Wow.
That's something that we're looking forward to. Scottsdale is a beautiful place, and I spent a little time out there. But I'm very much looking forward to being in, right near the George R. Brown Convention Center downtown. It's going to be
That's going to be a whole other area of Houston to conquer.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about Houston too. There's so many pieces.
They're all
'cause it's
different.
huge, right? And they're all different, a little bit different personality.
Sure.
But the great thing, going back to the Federal Grill culture, is that you walk in and the motto, which I love, yes is the answer. Now, what's your question, right?
That's
and that
it.
it's truly like working with you guys. I hear that all the time. I'll say, well, I have this idea, and Matt will go, yes is the answer. And I'm like, do I have to ask the question now? And he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty amazing when you come from a place of optimism, positivity, and like, let's make a difference. It's
Yeah.
cool.
How can we make that happen?
That's right.
Yeah.
LJ, let's tell people the website too, just in case they've not been here. They could see that the construction of the menu has been so well thought out and field proven. People love it. Let's tell them the website.
Yeah. It's www.thefederalamericangrill.com.
Yep. TheFederalGrill.com. So perfect.
TheFederalGrill.com. Once again, we are here at the Federal American Grill in Katy, Texas, another center of the Houston universe. It's amazing all the people that have moved out here, and not just out here at 99, but even far beyond. So I bet you're getting people, as we use 99, say, as a barometer, I bet further west from Fulshire are coming out here.
Oh yeah, we get people out from Simonton, Fulshire. They're all coming out this way.
I mean, and you thought of it years ago as Katy was like a little bit outside Houston. I feel like the Katy area is one of the nicest areas to live in now. The schools are insanely good.
Yeah.
I was my boys play basketball. I was at a basketball game out here not long ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a university, these high schools. I mean, it's an incredible area. It's beautiful. And you have a Federal Grill. So
What more
Don't
can
get
you
better
want?
than
Well, LJ, thanks for being with us. We're going to take a short break and come right back. At P&R Creative, your story is our motivation. We want to tell your story in a way that resonates with your target market, whether that be your employees, your investors, potential customers, or a global television and film audience. Reach out to us through our website, prcreativegroup.com. That's prcreativegroup.com, or call us at 832-553-6208. 832-553-6208. Reach out to us. As we continue, let's talk to the chef of the Federal American Grill, Jenna. Eric Aldis. He's right here.
he is right here. This is like a celebrity sighting.
No.
I just give him a lot of help. No, we're so excited to have Eric here. As a reminder, we are at the beautiful Katy location of the Federal American
The
Grill.
spacious Katy
It's,
location.
I
too.
mean, I can't get over how big it is, and it's gorgeous. Every Federal has amazing similarities, but also like a little bit separate personality, which I love because it's based around community, right? I mean, Eric, I guess just talk to us a little bit first. You've been on the show before. You're a pro at this. What is amazing about this Katy location?
Well, the Katy location has a very special place in my heart because I'm from here. So that is a good thing and a bad thing because I'm not always in this location. I'm overseeing all the restaurants. You know, we have 2 time zones over now. So everybody here tells me everything that's going on here, the good, the bad, the ugly. And for those of you that are familiar with the restaurant business, it's always a fun experience. But you know, Katy, and it's grown so much growing up here through the years. I've come and gone back, and you know, the people are the same. I have friends from elementary school that come into this location. I have friends and family that we won turf bowls on the little KYF football team. Go Tigers! 92.
Love that.
Yeah, but we have. There's just so many friends and family, and it's so awesome to be from here and get the support. You know.
But it's a really exciting area to live in, like we were talking about. I mean, the schools are awesome, the houses are beautiful, you know, there's so many great places out here. Obviously, Federal Grill, but there's tons of growing stuff out here. It's a really exciting place to be.
I just moved back from, you know, I had to move off Galveston Island because I had to get a big boy job. So we recently moved to the area, and you know, I have my normal places that I would go growing up, and then you start to really explore, and you're like, there's so much to do here now. There's a lot
Awesome.
going on. There's a lot of outdoor entertainment. We've got a Federal Grill here that's amazing. It's just there's so much to do. It's just a growing area. It's booming. The traffic stops in front of this location, AM and PM every single day. And I love driving past on 99 here and looking up and seeing the American flags waving. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful location.
It really is. And they're still building out here. That's one of the fascinating things all around this area. And if you're listening, say, outside of the Houston area, get a map, look at Houston, go directly west, and just a little bit south is where we are off of 99. But this really is an amazing location, and the management, y'all have some real vision to even know to be here. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a second generation restaurant. It was our third location. It was before my time. But when we started working on consistencies and new menu items and recipes, we were spending a lot of time out here. We just love being a part of the community out here. Katy ISD, big supporters of anything they do. There's a few, of course, our first responders and our vets out here are huge. We have not only do we support them, but they support us tremendously as well.
That's the awesome thing we talked a little bit with LJ earlier about culture, and that culture, yes, it starts internally, right? Like people say you build a great culture from the inside out. If you take care of your employees, they take care of your guests, everyone's happy and successful. But you guys also take care of the communities that you have restaurants in, which I love.
Absolutely. Culture is the foundation for what we do. I think that word gets thrown around quite a bit. And with us, we really do. It's a simple, our core values are simple enough, especially being in the restaurant business, that, we really strive to have every single person understand that we are here to improve their lives, to positively impact their lives. That's from the dishwashers to the teenagers that are in high school that are hosting or doing busser work or bar back work. We're instilling that culture in our crew and our team members. And as they grow, whether they're going to be in the restaurant business or they're going to go off and be engineers or lawyers or doctors or anything, own their own business, have their entrepreneurs, they can still take these core values and really impact their lives moving forward.
I love that. As you know, my twin boys who are in high school got to be best boys this last summer.
They killed it.
Midway.
Yeah.
Well, they loved it. It was hard work, but they loved it. And they loved the people. They loved that a waiter who had been there for years totally took them under his wing and didn't let him mess up too badly. And they loved it. It was really cool.
It's fun, especially for the younger folks. Now listen, culture, we're going to treat you good, all of those things. It's part of it. But at the end of the day, come to Federal to work.
Yeah, right.
Right?
You do. You guys do work hard.
We
all
do work
the
hard.
time.
From top to bottom.
Well, talking about that, we have a lot to talk about with all things Federal coming up, right? It's always super busy. But talk to me about kind of a little secret we've started talking a little bit on social media about, but there's going to be a new menu rollout, a new menu update. Don't be alarmed. Cheeseburger, egg rolls will stay on the menu.
What about the fried oysters? Still?
Actually, so the fried oysters are going to come off the menu.
Oh, okay.
But we are still going to have them available. So we will have fresh shucked. We will shuck our East Coast oysters, fry them, put them back into the shell for you, and then top them off with a little bit of coleslaw. Changing it slightly, but it's still available. Anything, and folks need to realize this as well, anything that we remove from the menu, just because it's not on the menu does not mean it's available. Yes is the answer. So if we don't have it, a lot of times we use these wow factors and these other areas of opportunity to really go above and beyond to impress our guests. So if you don't see it on the menu, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not there. Our servers will be trained on, this is the proper response. So if you're asking for something, just let us know. We'll do our best to make it happen.
And Jenna, I know you're raring to go, as I am, with all things Federal. But before we get further along, you said, Eric, you are the chef at
Yes, sir.
American Grill. So let's tell people your role as it relates to all the other locations and what the chef entails. And then we'll get moving on.
Okay, so
because you're over everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what culinary director is the proper title.
The fancy term.
The fancy term. I'm rolling into that chef role real fast, we hired Aaron Gatlin, who's going to be our regional culinary director. Him and I and Matt, we have a long history together. We know we work well together, so that we'll be moving pretty fast on all opportunities where we can evolve. Aaron's going to roll into that. I'm working on openings, standardizations, recipes, training, new concepts across the board.
All the special menus that you guys do so well, like
Absolutely.
Easter, Mother's Day, whiskey dinners.
Being a chef, though, all the items on the menu, there are so many ingredients. They all look good when they come out. As I'm eating, and I do this everywhere, but especially at the grill, the food looks so good. As I'm eating my entree, lunch, or dinner, I'm looking at everybody else's. It's because it looks so good.
With the level of service that we like to do, we call it fine casual. All right,
Yeah.
so
A little extra fine.
yeah. But we, it's a big menu. We've got a little something for everybody. It definitely takes a different level, a next level obsession to be able to uphold the standards. And it's, it's from your routine of when you pull in the parking lot or you're making that turn to get to the restaurant. It's the landscaping, it's the parking lot, it's the lighting, it's everything, every little aspect. You have to really have your routine down. You're checking for dust on the blinds, dust on the picture frames, dust on the chairs. We've got a few locations that are right off the highway, and you really don't understand how much is coming off of those freeways coming through your front door every time it's opened. And so it's just staying on top of those little things. We call it obsessed hospitality. And it's not just the hospitality side. It's the lights, camera, action that we have to do every day, the setup of the restaurant, that really the little fine details really means a lot.
Lots of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and like you mentioned, Bill, when you're talking about a menu, yeah, it has to taste good, right? But if it comes out and it doesn't look that appealing, you've already lost them, right? So it has to look great. It has to taste great. I got to be like a little behind the scenes, Bill, last weekend, a couple weekends ago, where the chef and his team and the beverage director and his team were presenting Matt with some new possible menu updates, items, that sort of thing. And it was so cool because it came out, everything looked perfect. It was very detailed. Matt Bryce obviously knows his stuff on all levels for federal, and he knew to ask, wait, that one thing is not in there now, right? That one ingredient, you swapped that with what? Okay, I can taste that. It was fascinating to me to watch. Same with drinks, right?
Absolutely.
So talk to us a little bit about why, I guess the bigger reason, why update your menu? Your menu's great. Why update it?
So, in all restaurants, I was coached this and taught this and trained this at an early age. If you're not evolving, if you're not changing with the times, you get stagnant.
Yep.
And so, we have done really well of growing this concept with the menu that is in place. Now that we are at a certain level and we have this certain level of teammates and staff that can really accomplish these kind of adjustments, it's not saying that we don't like the things on the menu, that folks don't like those certain items. It's just that, we have these fancy computer systems that show us what's working and what's not. And then also knowing what we can cross-utilize as ingredients in the restaurant and kind of adjust things to make it, consistency is a big deal when you've got 5 restaurants and you're working on 6, 7, 8, 10, that, we've got to make sure that those things are in line. And with the crazy way that the world is going right now with finding all of your ingredients and all the supplies that you need to operate a multi-million-dollar business like this, it's pretty tricky. So we have to look at those things. We have to look at what's working, what's not, what's hard to get, what's easy to get. Aaron Gatlin, my compadre, he likes to call it making the bullseye bigger, right? And so we've been using that quite a bit, where we're making the bullseye a little bigger and not so much of the little tricks of the trade that we have, but making it so where everybody can reproduce and consistency. I compare multi-units to a large cruise ship or a large vessel in the ocean, and one restaurant to a little speedboat. So a little speedboat, you turn, it turns, back up, it backs up.
Yeah, that's some good
You know?
analogy.
5 restaurants, one with 2 time zones over,
Wow.
building new restaurants, new
About
concepts.
to be the Titanic.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge.
You need thrusters, you need tugboats, you need a whole army of people to get that boat in the right direction, and especially if you need it to turn now. And so the project, it takes a lot of work. You know, it's not something where we're just sitting back and we're coasting through our daily lives of work. We are all incredibly ambitious, lifetime learners. We have a sense of urgency to be hospitable, and that's also, you know, discipline, upholding our integrity, and then also having empathy. I just named all our core values, by the way.
Nice job,
Yeah,
Eric. That was amazing.
Shield.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Hey.
That-
Those are given.
Living it, living it.
a question on the menu. The existing menu and when the new menu rollout appears, will it be the same in all the locations, even in Arizona?
So Arizona just opened, so we're gonna give them a little time to get trained on this menu here. We're probably gonna get through their busy season. From what I hear, it ends after June, after Father's Day, and kind of rolls in through October. Hopefully that's not the case for us in Arizona.
Right, exactly.
But if it is, that would be the perfect time to kind of swap in the new menu items. We're gonna, you know, deliver a brunch menu out in Arizona as well. They're not doing brunch just yet. So all of those things, kind of as we evolve and grow that business and their team gets trained up, well, we'll be able to roll those things out in the future.
So give us a little. Don't reveal anything you can't. Top secret. But give us a little sneak peek at maybe a couple new items on food, drink, like. Get everyone excited about this new update.
Okay, so appetizers, one that we're really excited about, Kung Pao ribs. Okay, so
And they're delicious.
Oh, you've already had
I
some.
got to be there. I know. I'm bragging now.
so crispy rib.
No one calls me.
That's it. Crispy rib. We saute a little bit of garlic in our compound steak butter. Then we add our Kung Pao sauce. Drop our ribs into that. Toss them almost wok style until they get real crispy and covered and coated with our Kung Pao sauce. Then we stack them like a log cabin on our rectangle plate. Hit them with some sesame seeds and some chives.
Are you hungry yet, Bill?
And
I'm looking at a rectangle plate right
I'm
now.
telling
It's
you.
empty.
It's amazing how awesome they pair with our federal single barrel Buffalo Trace. It's amazing. So you got to come in, get some Kung Pao ribs, have a bourbon.
Awesome.
There you
Sounds
go.
like a good day.
That's it.
You're listening to this right now at 6 p.m. You should just do that. Not the ribs yet, but
With all these details in a restaurant, just taking the menu and the ingredients, I'm picturing as you're driving around, before you're even at the restaurant, even when you're not working, I bet you're thinking about menus and recipes all the time.
dreaming of food, right?
You know, I'm very blessed to do what I do. The food aspect and the menu is actually the fun part of my job. That's the part where I'm like, okay. And I'm one that loves change. I mean, you flip a coin. Some people love it, some people hate it. It was born in me, you know, and that's what I love. I love to evolve and keep growing and keep trying to constantly stay with the times, or even be a trendsetter. Fingers crossed that we get so blessed to be at that point.
Jenna Jackson and I, Jenna is with P&R Creative. We are at the Federal American Grill in Katy, Texas, with the culinary director, Eric Aldis, being super awesome as always, and being obsessed about everything that relates to all things grill, right?
Absolutely.
That's right, all day, every day. It was really cool to see like this sort of creativity and artistry aspect, creative aspect of like all the new potential dishes for the menu, all the new potential drinks for the menu, the naming, which I love.
Absolutely.
I know our beverage director is not here today, Jerry Glover, but he is, I think his handle is like Whiskey Royalty.
Yeah, it is.
And he's obsessed about his job and world and all the new drinks. I mean, some of the names, I was like, okay, these are cool.
Merrily I Dream, Happily Ever After, Dirty Little Secret. The Federal Old Fashioned has been redone. It's going to be nice. The Jalisco Old Fashioned. That's got Patron Reposado in it.
Oh,
So it's got a little
wow.
tequila going on in old fashioned, amongst other things. But he really worked hard on getting these drinks put together. Same thing. You got to think how many bartenders we have, how many folks behind the bar and servers. We have to train about this new product. They have to be knowledgeable. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and that's not just on the drink side. Anytime we add a bourbon or we change out our wine list, which we are doing, we've got some great juice coming in on the new wine list as well. It's really fun. He worked so hard on this, and he's super proud, and can't wait for everybody to come into any of the locations, but especially out here in Katy, and get a little taste of what we got going on.
It's really exciting. Things are always changing and getting better, even though I can't imagine how that happens, but it's awesome.
Well, thinking about drinks, tell us about, I have not had a margarita at any of your locations. Tell us about the margarita. Is there more than one kind of margarita, first of all? That's a really a great drink.
You want to have one right now?
No.
Come on, Bill.
I get
Live a little.
It's sleepy.
It's the perfect margarita.
It is beautiful.
All right, you might convince me.
So I always tell folks, I'm a Texan, I'm a good old boy from Texas, and you cut me open, it's a ginger flavored margarita, right? But
nice.
yeah, no. So it's the perfect margarita. Out of all of our drinks and all of our outstanding bourbons, that is our number one seller. Is our
Right?
perfect margarita,
Yeah, look
and
at
it
you,
is
Bill.
delicious.
But I will be back for one.
Absolutely,
Now
you got to.
Now that you said that, because there's nothing better than a good margarita, especially when it starts getting hot. Well, anytime, really.
That's it.
Anytime. But yeah, patio weather, this beautiful patio we have here at Katy.
I always say below 75 degrees outside, bourbon. Above 75 degrees, margarita.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Let's say
go.
that all at the same time.
We're simple
One,
people.
2, 3.
Margarita.
All right, that's the word of the day. Okay,
Yes.
so we want to keep going with all things federal. Jenna, what are we missing? Let's take about 2 more minutes in this segment and get us ready for the next segment. But all things federal, you have a whole list there. I hope we're getting.
I do have a whole list. I mean, look, it's hard to keep up with all things federal, right? But there is always something, no matter what you like, no matter what day of the week it is. I mean, the next big thing coming up in a week, once you're hearing this, a week away, Final Four will be in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
I'm a little bit of a not so closet basketball fan, because I have 2 boys who are basketballers. I mean, that's exciting. Talk about the federal locations in the Houston area and perfect spot to watch Final Four.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can come, like some folks think that, federal is fine dining. We're not. We're fine casual. All right. So come in for a burger and a beer. Watch the game. Or come in and watch the game and get a ribeye and a glass of Angel's Envy. It's you can come as you are. And I really think, as far as coming in to watch a game, that Federals are a perfect spot. Grab you and some friends, come get a private dining room or hang out at the bar. Really enjoy it. I mean, this is really, it's a fun spot. We got tons of TVs in every restaurant, so it's a lot of fun to come in here.
And it always feels like a community place, right? It's crowded, it's fun, it's a great crowd, families, dates, girlfriends, whatever. I mean, I feel like nowhere more fun to watch games, exciting games as they have been so far, than like a place like Federal where you're surrounded by community and fun people.
Absolutely.
Do a little bracket with your bartender,
That's it.
Addressing all the senses, sight, smell,
That's right.
the atmosphere. And atmosphere is so important. As you said about Headwood Village earlier, see and be seen is a thing, but there's always so much to see other than the beautiful food coming out of the kitchen. It's interesting as to watch the people, especially when I'm dining alone. It's interesting to watch people as they come and go.
You can definitely people watch all
It's
locations.
super fun.
That's right.
Once again, we are with Eric Aldis. He is the culinary director here at the Federal American Grill. We are at the location in Katy, Texas. We're looking at the highway right now. We're going to take a quick breather and come right back. Please stay with us.
At P&R Creative, your story is our motivation. We want to tell your story in a way that resonates with your target market, whether that be your employees, your investors, potential customers, or a global television and film audience. Reach out to us through our website, prcreativegroup.com. That's prcreativegroup.com, or call us at 832-553-6208. 832-553-6208. Reach out to us.
Here we go. As we return, we are again with Eric Aldis, the culinary director at Federal American Grill, a gigantic job. Jenna Jackson and I are here having a great time talking about food and all things federal. Speaking of all things federal, Jenna.
It's one of my favorite topics, Bill. You know, they're
I know that.
a client of ours, and I love them, and it's always something fun and exciting. We're out at the Katy location today, which is gorgeous and huge and so versatile. So you guys have to come visit. If you're driving by right now, pull in. At Eric, let's talk about what's coming up. The next big sort of special thing at Federal, not that every day isn't special, is Easter. Easter is sneaking up on us.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's a couple weeks away. And tell us what you have for Easter.
So Easter, we have a prefix brunch menu, set brunch menu. We also have a dinner menu available that will also have our full menu. The brunch menu will strictly be the brunch prefix when you come in. Got some awesome menu items there, some new stuff that might be rolling out on a new brunch menu later on this year. But
A little teaser.
yeah, a little sneak peek. We're bringing the eggs Benedicts back. We're we got a little yogurt parfait, lots of different things, and we're just constantly evolving on that.
Steak and eggs.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and the cool thing about this menu is, I mean, they're beautiful selections, but it's a 3-course menu.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something for everyone, right? It's the perfect place to bring. I personally, I love forcing my teenage boys to get dressed up for Easter and go somewhere fabulous. We are always at the Federal Grill. We're
Thank you for that.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter. I mean, Easter brunch, there's no better spot. And is this going on at all locations?
All locations, Scottsdale included.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then let's talk a little bit more about the dinner. So there is a 3-course dinner menu for Easter, but there's also the regular menu. For
Also
those.
the full menu.
Okay.
So
So you have options.
some folks seem to shy away from that prefix menu. So we open up the books and let them have the whole menu and the special prefix if they want to. Both delicious.
So when you're thinking about, I've gotten the awesome insight working with you a little bit about, like, as you're creating these special menus, I'll come to Eric, Bill, and say, well, do you want to do the same as last year? And he's like, what? I mean,
He likes change. Remember what he said?
I mean, they're always getting better here at Federal Grill, right? So talk us through a little bit. To me, this is like an artistry thing, right?
Oh, it is?
It's cool. You're creating this. It's got to be like this perfect kind of work of art, right? That everybody can choose something they love. There's a little different, but some good standbys. Like, how do you create a menu for an event like Easter or Mother's Day or?
Well, first of all, you have to keep it federal. Okay. If I go too far over the top, could scare some folks away. I could make a lot of people mad in the kitchen by not thinking about them first before I put these menus together, and the ease and how we're going to execute. So there's a lot of thinking about people first.
And that consistency factor
Absolutely.
that you talked about.
And the reason we are putting out these special menus are so that we can stay on top and that we can execute at the highest standard. And so we have to think about those things when we're putting these menus together. Cross-utilization of product, providing something new and different, but still utilizing the same ingredients that we have in-house. Because if I go all nuts and start like ordering all this new stuff, then after Easter, we're sitting on all this extra product. So you have to kind of, take the overall flow of what you do in this business and kind of evolve it. And a lot of times the stuff that we're doing on these holiday menus are something that we're going to bring back later on in the year and possibly be on one of our menu evolvements.
Yeah.
One of the items on the menu.
The menu updates, or like you talked about, there could be a new brunch menu in the
Absolutely.
works.
It's sometimes a
allegedly.
sneak peek on what we're working on.
Well, and you kind of see what works and what doesn't, right?
Absolutely.
If people are raving about your eggs Benedict, you might bring it back.
Give them more.
Right,
That's it.
exactly. It's smart. So that's exciting. People should go on Open Table or the Federal website and make their reservations today, because I will tell you, it gets full. They all get
All
full.
the locations get full.
Yeah,
so
and it's-
that's
we're
a
already
good word,
filling up.
Jenna.
Yeah,
We're
I
already
mean,
filling up. Yeah.
it's awesome, which is a great problem to have, but I'm telling you, it's really good.
If
So
you're
go
hearing this, make your reservation.
make your reservation. You only
As
have
soon
2
as you
weeks.
listen after the show's over.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Few
Go
more
on
minutes.
Open Table, go on Federal Grill, thefederalgrill.com, make your reservation. Okay, another really exciting thing that we've kind of just started talking about is 10 years at Federal. It's the 10-year anniversary of the Federal original location. What are you going to do to celebrate that? That's a biggie.
How awesome is that?
It's amazing. And I know Matt is super excited about that. He's
I
like,
got
I mean, he's personally driving every detail of this, right? He's so psyched. Talk us through a little bit about what's going to happen, what we can see, how we can be a part of it.
got goosebumps just talking about it. So proud of the whole Federal family. You know, I've only been blessed enough to be here just a little over a year, and so for 10 years, there's a lot of history. And so it's the Shepherd location on Thursday, April 20th. We're going to throw our 10-year bash anniversary party, Gatsby themed. So everybody needs to come dressed to impress.
I'm working on my costume, Bill.
Oh,
You
yeah?
gotta get yours together.
I'm a grown man, so I'm not going to call it costume. But
I think that's slight in me. I don't know. That was
but
weird.
we are going to get
That was
dressed.
weird.
The good thing about Gatsby is guys
Just
and
be
boys,
dapper.
yeah, be dapper, look good, look sharp. Let the girls get all dressed up in their costume.
That's what you guys like anyway,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I mean, the girls get to wear costumes. You get to wear like a black suit and look suave.
Like having another Halloween during
I
the year.
love it.
One,
I
yeah,
love
it's a
it.
good one.
So there will be a dress up contest. Some people call it a costume contest.
Some people.
But best dressed, similar to what we do for the Kentucky Derby, best dressed. We'll have a bunch of appetizers, finger foods only, so no plates or napkins or anything needed. Just be able to walk around and eat. Band. I think we're choosing between a couple of bands, but I know we're deciding on some pretty popular ones. Band will play, then the DJ, possibly a cigar roller, amongst other things. There'll be an ice luge. It's going to be a huge party.
It sounds like a
Ice
good
luge.
night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uber to the Shepherd location.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing night. There's some incredible drink sponsors that are partnering with you guys
Absolutely.
to create. I know it's in the works, and we'll put it out on social media soon, but incredible like specialty cocktails in honor of the 10-year anniversary. It's really exciting. We're hoping like all the old VIPs come, all of our current.
There will be
Yes,
some special guests involved. There's a lot of folks that have gone through this.
A lot of planning.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Everything we do. But there's a lot of folks that have gone through the Federal family that have come out to be very successful in their own right, in their own businesses. So there might be some cameo from some
Cameo bartender.
bartenders, servers, cooks, who knows? It should be
Awesome.
exciting.
Well, one thing I noticed decades ago when I first got to Houston, and I used to travel all over the place, but Houston, first of all, is fun. The people, there was a fun element, an excitement element, and then we narrow it down to the restaurants and the Federal American Grill. Yeah, great food, super atmosphere, dynamic, wonderful menu, but it's also fun, as we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Who else has these kind of activities?
I was going to say, knows how to throw a party like no one else, right? If you've ever been to one of the Derby days, which is also coming up in early May, that's going to be really fun. Costumes, welcomed, encouraged. Eric.
Are big hats and sexy dresses costumes?
I mean, sort of. Sort of.
Well, we got about 4 minutes left. How we doing on the list, Jenna? We may have to have another show. Now, we could do that, but
Well, I think we are going to start doing a monthly Federal show because there is so much going on that we really need to keep on top of it. And we want to help you guys keep on top of it so you don't miss
Absolutely.
anything. I want to circle back to the 10-year anniversary really quickly. There will be amazing stuff there. There's going to be a caricature artist. I think there might be some flapper dancers. Who knows? It's going to be Gatsby World. It's going to be amazing and imaginative and fun. Make your reservation. It is going to be limited, and we want you all there. But there's only so much space, right? So make your reservation today and come on in.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
it dawns on me. You said a monthly Federal American Grill radio station provided by P&R Creative. Let me tell you something. no other restaurant does that. How about that?
But
That
guess
would be
what?
awesome because people want to know about the Federal American Grill.
And the culture at Federal is about growth, right? And always evolving and always getting better. And part of that is communicating with your guests and letting them know what's going on. So we try really hard to make sure we get the word out. But
A monthly show on AM 950 KPRC that we get to drive the ship on. It's going to be.
it's going to be really fun.
Okay.
I bet they can have a margarita for you next time. we're
Yeah,
here.
okay.
I mean, whatever
We'll
you.
get another location
I was thinking
next
coffee
time.
at first, but no,
Oh,
I'm
no.
switching over now.
Yes is the answer.
Yes, is the answer. Margarita.
So that sounds awesome. Well, Eric, a couple minutes left. What didn't we cover that you want to make sure that people know about?
You know, this 10-year anniversary is really exciting. Our Derby, our Kentucky Derby party. My first one was last year, kind of being the host
What's
of
the
the
date,
party.
by the way? Do we know that?
Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I should know that. It's
So we have balloons. We go to the racetrack and we buy tickets for the horses and we hand those out.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mint juleps, ice luge, balloons. If y'all haven't seen the restaurant, the balloons and the atmosphere is like nothing else in Houston. It is awesome. Our Derby party is what we do. We're a bourbon bar, so we have a lot going on. The ladies and gentlemen that are coming into this restaurant are dressed to the nines.
yeah.
They are ready to have a Derby Day party. It is beautiful. It is fun. Oh, of course, the food is delicious as well.
It's Saturday, May 6th. So
Saturday, May
we have
6th.
Easter coming up on April 9th, which is a couple weeks away. Then we have the 10-year anniversary party coming up on Thursday, April 20th. And then a week after that, pretty much, week or two, Saturday, May 9th. What did I say? May 6th. May 6th, Saturday is Derby. Derby party at all locations. If you have not been, it is legit. It is over the top. If you cannot make it to the actual Kentucky Derby, this is where you want to be.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
What is an ice luge?
Shot block.
Bill, does that mean you've never done an ice luge?
I have not.
Well,
See,
Shot block.
that's going to be on our next radio show.
Shot block made out of ice. We pour booze down the top and you put your mouth on the end. You catch all that liquor.
People sliding around.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They might after the
Hey,
ice luge.
Yeah. Ice luge makes you talk a lot.
Well, let's tell people once
It's a fun
again,
feature.
as they're out there, they make the reservation. What is the website?
I'll tell them thefederalgrill.com.
TheFederalGrill.com.
There's a reservations link that goes straight to Open Table, or you can go per location and do your reservations that way. We are at the Katy location today, which is huge and gorgeous and amazing. I'm already planning some private events here with this whiskey room that I'm looking at, but at all 5 locations, we'll be doing Easter, we'll be doing Derby Day, and then the 10-year anniversary party on April 20th is at the OG Shepherd location, which is just going to be amazing.
And we want to thank the general manager here, L.J. Wiley. He was on earlier in the show. We want to encourage you. You could check out the YouTube video by going to radiobill.net. That'll take you to the YouTube channel. We are on location with Eric. LJ was here a few minutes ago. Check out the YouTube video, radiobill.net. And thank you so much, Eric. I'm looking forward to all the events, right, Jenna?
I am.
And
My calendar's booked. I'm busy.
I want to do that every month thing, too. That sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah. We're
Thank
gonna
you
do
all.
that. I thought you were going to say the ice luge.
That, too. Jenna, let's tell people your website at P&R Creative.
Sure, it's prcreativegroup.com.
Thank you all for listening. We will see you next week.
At P&R Creative, your story is our motivation. We want to tell your story in a way that resonates with your target market. Reach out to us through our website, prcreativegroup.com. That's prcreativegroup.com, or call us at 832-553-6208. 832-553-6208. Reach out to us.